What is up, everyone? Welcome to Juggling Warehouse. Today, going to be showing you, talking to you about tennis ball and can. This is a juggling prop that's been around for a while. I learned about 8-9 years ago, and there's been a few people that have been decent at it, but it's not something that people often talk about. There's not a lot of tutorials about, so I figured I'd do that. We don't sell these on jugglingwarehouse.com, but still figured would make a video because I've always loved it. Let's first just talk about the prop itself. Can of tennis balls, but the ones that I like the most have the cup part here. Sometimes it's like 4 bumps or 3 bumps, and it's impossible to do the stall there. So finding a can with that nice little bowl shape right there is really important. And then you might be wondering about the tape. I have some pieces of metal like strips here that I taped on back when I was performing outside, doing different events, just to add a little bit more weight, because when you're outside and it's just this light plastic, the littlest amount of wind would blow these things away, make it really hard. Same thing with tennis balls. You can hear I cut a slit in these, added some sand, and then super glued it shut so that the balls have some weight. Tennis balls are pretty light, if you're outside, but even just juggling is much easier, feels much better when they have a weight, more like a beanbag or juggling ball. So that's what I use for tennis ball and can juggling. Now let's talk about a few of the basic tricks. So we're gonna start with the most basic trick that I learned is just, we're gonna flip and catch the 2 right there. Obviously you're going to learn to go into cascade, but just work on that first. An inward flip, and the 2 balls should come out just like that. One a low toss, and one will flip out a little bit higher, which is how you enter the cascade. Another thing, just this looks cool. Physics keeps the 1 ball in the can. So this is, again, one of the first tricks I learned, was just to juggle with the can. A funny thing about tennis ball and can for me is I was at a friend's house, and they had, this is when I was obsessed with juggling when I was in high school. I wanted to juggle, and all they had was a can and two tennis balls. They were missing the 3rd one. And so I just was working on juggling the 2 balls and the can, and then I learned I could do that, and I thought I was groundbreaking in the juggling world, and then I realized that lots of professional jugglers have been doing ball and can stuff for a long time. Anyway, so first trick you want to learn is the flick into cascade. And then, I normally catch it like this. If you're ready to stop, you'll catch it a little early so that it's pointing up. Then from the cascade, you throw 1 and 2. Little spoiler, it's pretty easy as long as you're somewhat accurate. It's pretty easy to catch the ball in the can. As long as you're kind of paying attention and you hit the general area, it's pretty forgiving. If you hit any part, especially with the weight of the balls helps a lot with that. If you hit any kind of part around the edges, it typically goes in. So first thing you'll do, juggle with cascade, stop. You can add a 360 there. You can also let it bounce. These ones, that's one thing you do lose with putting weight, is they don't bounce quite as nicely. A bounce and catch. Next trick, so there's some different starts for this. So the same motion, you go under the leg, I think like I did in the intro. That was always in my routine. You could also go behind the back. Just like that. From here, you can also do a much fancier start. It's gonna go pretty high. Just like that into 4. Okay, so it's all, you pull up and then pull all the way down to release all 3. Just like that. And again, 1, 2, 3. Into. One of my favorite tricks with tennis balls and can is box variation. So I just always think it looks nice just to have the can in the middle, but then with the dwell space, I always had this in my routine as well. Not really a box, but. Boom, just like that. It's a great trick. The trick that always got the biggest response from audiences were these, the aggressive downward, I don't even know what you call them, but this. It's really cool looking. It is bad when you miss on stage because they'll go flying. You can just practice this one without juggling and just work on those downward catches. The important part is when you're not moving, you gotta keep the can up, otherwise they'll fall out. So it's all about keeping the force of the balls and pushing them to the back as you're doing it. And you can just work on that without juggling. And then eventually, you can do it from several parts. You can just do it with 2, 1, 2, or all 3. It's a great trick. All right, if you are able to find a can with the little bowl on the bottom, always surprises people that it's possible. Within this, you can do some cascade variations. And back to fountain. Another trick I really like is getting 2 in the can, throwing 1 up, launching 2, and then finishing with all 3 there. I'll do it one more time. You can also do that on the bounce, since I didn't do it perfectly last time. It's a great one. There are all sorts of different variations you can do. Just wanted to show you a few of them, but just like any juggling prop, you can get creative, add all of your own unique style and tricks. So hopefully this was helpful. I'm excited to see more people try out tennis ball and can because it's a great prop. Make sure you check out jugglingwarehouse.com to get yourself some other juggling equipment if you haven't yet. We'll see you next time. Bye.